Hi everybody, welcome back to another lesson in my Czerny Opus 599 for solo learners. In this lesson we're going to learn number 14. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. I also offer online piano lessons. If you're looking for one, there's going to be information below. If you'd like to get this special edition of Opus 599 for solo learners, there's going to be links below. So, as you could hear, this piece is adding quite a few new difficulties that we haven't done in number 11, 12, 13. So this one still stays in a 5-finger position, but in the right hand, we are introducing double notes. So playing thirds, which are chords 3 notes apart from each other, or intervals. And these double notes or thirds are going to be staccato and legato, although the legato is with finger swapping, and the left hand is introducing the Alberti bass, so a broken chord pattern, which again can be very challenging. So let's start this time with the right hand. We're going to start with the first 2 lines until the repeat sign. It's in treble clef, and we have common time 4/4, so 4 beats. And the rhythm is very easy. We have quarter notes and half notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these double notes are going to start in this C position, 1 octave above middle C, and we have C, E, and then we have E, G, which is going to be 2, 4, so 1, 3, 2, 4. Just practice moving between these thirds. And when we play thirds, the most important thing is that the 2 notes have to go down perfectly together. Instead of where one hand is a little bit late, it sounds trum trum, instead of a very clean 2 notes together. So that's the main challenge of playing thirds. What this piece is trying to teach you is how to play those thirds or double notes perfectly in sync. Now you can see some of them have a little dot above, so they need to be staccato, and other ones are connected by a slur, so we're going to hold them to the full value and move as smoothly as we can in between. The first phrase is kind of the first 4 bars, and obviously play with rounded hands, curved fingers, and really playing with the fingertips to be able to articulate these thirds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a repeated pattern here, the D 4 times, so you should alternate the finger numbers on it. It doesn't need to be 2, 1, 3, 2. It could be 3, 2, 1, 2, anything that you find comfortable, but alternate the finger numbers on repeated notes. So as you could see, my staccatos here, we're bouncing with kind of a rounded motion, not just an up and down, but kind of a rounded wrist motion, almost like doing a circle up and down. And you need to have that lightness to these staccato thirds. Don't make them very heavy and aggressive. So, and then down and move. Now it's a 2-note slur, so the first note is going to be louder, the second note is going to be gentler. So 2, 4, and falling down. 2, 4, 1, 3, and every time you fall, so you're descending from the top note, make the second one a bit gentler to create this contrast of question-answer. And that's the first section. The left hand is playing an Alberti bass. Now, what is an Alberti bass? We can play a C major chord, C, E, G. This is called a blocked chord because you play all 3 notes together. If I break this up into a pattern where it's bottom, top, middle, top, that's called an Alberti bass because he was the first one to use it very, very commonly. And every chord can be broken up into bottom, top, middle, top, and then we're just going to call it an Alberti bass or broken chord bass pattern. So bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top. And as you can see, all of the left-hand notes are 8th notes or quavers, so the rhythm has to be very even all the way through. Now, let's see the chords first before we put in the pattern. The first bar is a C chord. Let's block them out. So just play the first 3 notes together. C chord, C, E, G, second bar, C, E, G, third bar, B, D, G, so it's a G chord, then back to C. Bar 5, C again, bar 6, C again, bar 7, it's a G7 chord, B, F, G, and back to C. So play the chords in a blocked format a few times to really feel the shape of the hand and how you move between the chords. Now let's add in this movement. So your hand has to be very rounded, curved fingers, and play with the fingertips. Now, one thing that's really important when it comes to Alberti bass is the wrist should be very, very, very relaxed and soft. If your wrist is tensing up, it's going to get very tiring very quickly because the Alberti bass runs so quickly for a long time without any breaks, so tension can build up very quickly. So round the fingers and then have a little bit of rotation between these outer fingers. We're moving left, right. So a tiny bit of, let the arm rotate, let the wrist rotate a little bit. And that's going to help to relieve the tension and keep the wrist very soft. So don't play with a very stiff wrist just from the fingers like that. It's not going to work. And also what's going to happen, it's going to become very uneven, which we don't want. We want a very even flow all the way through. We should be able to do this infinitely without any kind of slips in the rhythm. So perfectly even eighth notes all the way through. So C chord, G chord, C chord. And that's it. Practice the Alberti bass many, many times, very slowly, then going a little bit faster to really feel that fluidity of the hand when moving in between the notes. Now let's add it together. This is when it gets a little bit difficult because the left hand has to be legato all the way through. We don't have a slur above the notes, but we're obviously not going to staccato all of these notes. We're going to keep it smooth like a river in the background, which is carrying the melody of the right hand. The ship is being carried on the river. So I'm just going to show you the first two bars because the rest is the same. So two things happen here. First one is I'm keeping my staccatos whilst the left hand is going very smoothly, and I play 2 eighth notes for each quarter note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now hold 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the pattern is kind of the same. So if you can do 2 bars, you can do the rest. The important thing is to keep those staccatos very sharp and the left hand very fluid in the background. The second important thing is to keep the right hand chords or the right hand melody louder than the left hand accompaniment. Don't play the left hand too loud, keep it very quiet. Instead of, we are really pushing into that left hand. Don't do that. We want to hear the melody, not the Alberti bass. That's just there to support the melody. Now, if you really struggle to keep the legato when you staccato like this, if your left hand is jumping up, you can do it really slowly, gluing the left hand notes. See, the right hand came up, left hand stays down, bounce. And just do it in really slow motion to keep the left hand connected and the right hand bouncing. We get to the end of this section and then we move on to the second section, which has to be repeated as well from bar 9. So let's play straight hands together because the notes are very similar, and we're going to be in this G position and 2-4 on the D F. So we move to 2-4, which is a bit harder because 4 is a weaker finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to C. 1, 2, 3. Now it gets repeated. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Now the final line is a bit harder because we have some non-staccato double notes which are again legato. So, and bounce, bounce. Now 2 note slurs. and then back to our staccato Ds. So, bounce, bounce, slur, slur, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Now you could say, how is this a slur if we have to lift up the hand? Because we technically can't play this without lifting up the hand because the E has to be repeated. So in our mind, we think of it as a slur, as connected notes, so holding down to the maximum instead of playing them staccato. And that's the end of the second section, hands together. So really important to watch those staccatos, the double notes, they go down together, and this Alberti bass line has to be completely free of tension and very even all the way through. Many times I heard things like this. Where the left hand is kind of jittering in between the notes, so keep it very even. And after lots of very slow practice, you can go as fast as your hands allow you, as long as accuracy and clarity is not sacrificed and the rhythm stays very even. It's really fun to play it faster, but again, there's no point to do it if you can't, if you start losing your staccatos, if you start being very uneven with your left hand Alberti bass.